wasn't planning on going live, but multiple things happened to facilitate to inspire it. So I this dude was a guest on this Steve Burr, whatever his name is. Let's see, what's Steve's name? Steve Bergevin. Dude has a live feed. He's a truther. Live feed on Facebook where he gets pretty decent views. And he's one of these truthers that questions everything but Jesus, but Christianity. And I never can understand how that works. How is it that's the one thing that you think survived all of the fuckery and came out true? Comments are on this time, yes. They always start on. They'll get shut off, don't worry. If the video gets big enough, they'll shut off. So I comment on this one dude's page, and he, I wonder if it'll let me see if I can remember that dude's name. You are now friends with this dude, Rudolph Yaber. Rudolph Yaber posted some nonsense. I can't remember what it was. But I said, Jesus is not real. It's all just more chosen bullshit. It was something about Jesus and Islam. They're both not real. They're just Abrahamic religions to control you and keep the goyim stupid. And his response is, your existence proves otherwise. My existence proves Jesus, proves God is real. How? I said to him, it's funny. You religious people, and this is basically true with anyone, when somebody can't argue with what you're saying, actually argue, they'll either make up their own thing to argue against, or they'll say some like ridiculous nonsense. Like how does my existence prove God's real? Right? That's what all religion is, a control mechanism. Yeah, to keep the goyim stupid, keep believing that there's that we can't fix it. We need the magical superhero in the sky to come fix it. And it's just fucking stupid. It keeps you inside praying instead of being out there and doing something about it. But the idea that that's your best argument, right? Your best argument is that my existence proves... I said my existence proves my parents had sex, which proves their parents had sex. My grandparents had sex. I know we don't like thinking about our grandparents having sex, but they do, and they did. And at one point, they were young, beautiful people. At least in some cases. But it's like, how does that prove your Bible bullshit to be true? What about that proves it? What about my existence proves anything related to religion? Oh, look, we have Barb. Let me help you with that, Barb. Yeah. Now Barb doesn't have to worry about it. All right? Now Barb doesn't have to worry about watching me or listening because, I only had 4,600, 4,700 views earlier today. I've always said I'm God my own. No, you're not. You're not God. You're just a person. See, that's the other thing we do is we still try to make things special. You're not special. You're just a person. If you were a god, you'd walk around like Magneto's bitch ass, flying around like, If I was God, then there would be no pedophilia anywhere, and anybody that even thinks about going in that direction would have a heart attack. And I'd make it well known, If you start going in that direction, you're going to have a heart attack. If you don't learn your lesson, you're going to have a widowmaker. Now, I know you're taking the piss, but that's something that everybody says. Not everybody. A lot of people say. I used to say it too when I was a kid. I'm my own God. I used to love the lawnmower man because there's that one time when Job says, I am God here. I thought that was cool as hell. But it's like I always try to get the religious people to come in and have the conversation. And it's just interesting how incapable they are. Right? Like there's the first person that finds the feed happens to not be a believer. And that person's going to make a lot of fucking comments and say so. But you never have people that actually believe the religious nonsense that come through and express it or talk about it. No, there's the Facebook page, and I always leave you guys the links in the description. But I rarely do it anymore because my Facebook shit's all blocked up. They have me so censored on Facebook, it's not even funny. But I just look at the insanity that people accept in order to believe what they want to believe. And that was what I said to this one dude, this Yaber dude, this Rudolph Yaber guy. Right? Like, what do you... No, I'm not wasting my time. You know, people only learn through experience and through talking and whatnot. So we're trying to strengthen Team Goyim. Yeah, well, I'm here, Matt. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. But I look at this whole Jesus bullshit, and I think I see it for easily what it is. And if that whole Bible bullshit was real, then they would have reasonable arguments. They would have better arguments. They would be able to say, well, no, what about this and what about that? And, it's all bullshit. And I want to sit here and destroy whatever arguments they have, but they can't make them. I challenge you, man. If you're a religious person, make the argument. Tell me why that shit's real. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to help everyone. There's a whole group of people I want to help get the fuck out of here. It's the people that gave you that bullshit. Your Bible is a J fairy tale written by, perpetuated by, pushed by, starring nothing but J's. And you just, these are like the facts, the facts that they want us to know. Not saying it's necessarily true, but this is the narrative that they want us to know. All the Christians know that their shit is Abrahamic. They're part of the Abrahamic religions. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are the Abrahamic religions. How could there be three of the same religions and they're different? Just think about how stupid that is. Right? It's especially when it's like Abraham is the father of the J people. Abraham, is the main bad guy in the Bible. You just, like, it's easy to see it. So what are you missing? Look we have a typical dumb Christian, dumb Muslim, dumb whatever it is on here. Because instead of being able to have the intelligent debate conversation, they're trying to get me to just stop. They're just spamming nonsense because they're scared. Please stop destroying my thing. I want to believe in this because I'm selfish and stupid. This is all they can do. Believe me, if this person could make better arguments, they absolutely would. Who's going to go somewhere, be perfectly capable of making an argument, but then say some stupid nonsense instead? In what situation would that make sense? You know, you go to the mechanic and you're like, hey, what's wrong with my car? And they're like, you should stop driving. And you're like, yeah, that's funny. Anyway, what's wrong with my car? You should stop driving. You should stop driving. You should stop driving. Like, what? Who would do that? You know, you'd be like, well, can you actually fix my car? You should stop driving. You'd assume they can't. They're just, you know, shit. And that's what you'll see over and over again with these idiots. Look at yet another. I guarantee all these people that talk shit are you know, say they're a good Christian, but they all they do is talk shit. That's all they can do. It's like they don't even know what their shit says. You know, every comment that doesn't actually address what's being said and doesn't, you know, acknowledge or engage it one way or another and just talk shit, they're basically saying that I'm right and I'm smarter than them. And they're so intimidated, they know they can't actually make any good arguments. They're going to end up looking stupid. So they just say some dumb shit. Right? Like, this is just how their dumb shit works. If you had a good argument, why wouldn't you make it? Why wouldn't you try to, you know, sway people, especially when you're talking about Christianity? And, you know, you guys are charged with that. You're supposed to be finding people like me and you know, showing us what we're getting wrong. You're not supposed to just look for people that think the same way you do. But it ends up getting into a weird place because, you know, at some point the dumb religious person's going to say, well, I have faith. Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And then you go, okay, let's apply that to your same shit. What came first? You know, what made God? There is no made God. God always existed. So something came from nothing is what you're saying? You know, just think about that shit. You just look at the stupidity in which, you know, people are almost forced into exhibiting, and it's embarrassing. You know, how do you feel decent? Like, the fact that you can't have a reasonable conversation about the shit you say you believe is embarrassing. You know, I just can't. I would be, you know, I wouldn't, if it was that way, if like I knew that I couldn't actually make the argument, I just wouldn't say anything. You know, I just sit and listen and watch and learn and all that. If I knew that somebody was clearly outclassing me and not just that, but that I literally could not make a reasonable argument, I wouldn't try. You know, I just don't understand that mentality. You know, you need attention so bad that you're just gonna go, you're gonna talk shit, but you're not gonna be able to make any reasonable arguments or statements or anything. So it's just you being a shithead talking shit. Like, where does that come in? Why are you so weak mentally that's who you are? You know? And you see that just time and time again with, especially in this conversation. When it comes to Jesus, you guys are just dumb. I mean, and that should scare you. That should bother you. You know, the fact that this is the foundation for what a lot of people believe, and then you ask them about it and they can't talk about it. Like, why would you say you believe in something that you can't have a conversation about, that you can't defend? Especially when that thing is full of bigotry and hatred. You know, so many of you use your religion to hate on gay people and whatnot, and it's like, oh, well, it's in the Bible. Yeah, but what about that? Well, and they don't even know what part in the Bible it is. Oh, then I don't care enough to argue. My time and energy is more valuable. If you didn't care enough to argue, you wouldn't be here. And you know, if your time and energy, you're watching a YouTube video. It's a lazy excuse. But this is consistently how this whole thing works out. And I think it's fascinating. It's fascinating. What is the motivation? What is what is the purpose? I'm not here arguing. I don't know what you're saying. I'm just reading your comments. Whatever you're saying is what's being read. So whether you're here, I can't imagine, again, I'm going to be in a conversation until it gets difficult. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'm not talking about this. I want the world to be a better place. I'm going to take every opportunity I can to talk about how we can make the world a better place. And it's fucking stupid, man. It's part of that goyim stupidity that you're supposed to exhibit. I mean, think about like how weird it is. Let's say you had to somebody was like, all right, we're going to drop you off in one of those alone situations, and you're getting dropped off in the woods and you're allowed to get some supplies. You just tell us what you want. And you know nothing about outdoor survival. That would be so scary. You're going to be put into this situation where you have to navigate this and you can't. I'm not here to help the world. Well, especially if you're selfish, you should try even harder, right? True selfishness is the answer. Your phony, low-level selfishness is what you're expected to have. But when you're truly selfish, like I am, I want myself, my wife, and my children to live the happiest, healthiest, safest lives they can live. And the only way that's possible is if everyone else is living the happiest, healthiest, safest lives they can live. If we can get rid of Israel, that's going to make everybody's lives happier. If we get rid of the J cult, that will make people's lives better. But you're only truly safe when when everybody else is safe. And I just don't understand how how you can see it any other way. And really, I think about it all the time. There's so many rich people out there, so many powerful people out there. And there's a genocide taking place. Whether it affects you directly or not, the notion that there are children out there who have bombs being dropped on them that you're essentially paying for. If you're an American, you're paying for it. The fact that you say, well, I don't care, it doesn't directly affect me, so that's just you're just a shitty person. If you're content with being a shitty person, then that's your thing. I can't imagine why you'd be here. But if you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. So Amethyst. It's weird. You would, and you need the validation, of course, that it's okay that you're a shitty person, but I can't imagine. Knowing what I know about what's happening in Gaza, how do you stay silent about that? How do you stay silent knowing children are being raped and tortured and killed? Because they're not your kids, they're not related to you, so you don't care? That's an amazing level of bad person that I don't understand. And I believe I'm a much better person than you are. And you should be comfortable with whatever you are, but I personally can't understand how people with the means and the technology look at the dumb response, then go over there and help them. Yep, that's how you do it. It's the same stupid nonsense over and over again, which always gets the same response. So what, I'm going to put on my red bandana, get my knife and my grenades and my machine gun, and have an airplane drop me off somewhere in Gaza so I can make my way to Netanyahu and take him out, right? That's how you fix this problem. Because it's that is the problem. It's not the system that controls that situation that's the problem. And then the way we address that is by unifying and overthrowing the Jays that control the narrative. No, that's not how you fix the problem. Then you go over there and you help them then. Just that level of stupid. Why would you open yourself up to that? Why do you have that need to acknowledge your own stupidity? You need everyone to know what a stupid ass you are. It's just so strange. Such a weird stupid. You're the same person that says, if people complain about the United States, well, you should get out then. If you don't like it, then you should leave. Like, isn't that what America's about? Being able to discuss and adapt and, isn't that what we're supposed to be about? It's not a you don't like it, you can leave situation. But see, this is that stupidity. And this is the hardest. How do we overcome that? How do we overcome people's arrogance and stupidity? For you to be arrogant and stupid is such a weird combination. What are you even arrogant about? What fosters that arrogance? What feeds that arrogance? Because you're too stupid. I mean, it's like not like you go into a situation and you make points and people are like, holy shit, I didn't think about it like that. I don't know. Then I could understand maybe being arrogant. But if you only say dumb shit and people just sort of laugh at you, then what's the motivation there? What's the logistics? I'm all about the logistics with everything, and I think the logistics give shit away. And one of the main parts in logistics is the motivation. What motivates people? What motivates some clown to come on this feed? There's all these other feeds going on right now. There's all these videos available. There's TV and DVDs and Hulus and all these other things available to you. And what you're going to do is find the person that thinks we should eliminate the pedos and eliminate the J control scheme, therefore eliminating the genocide. And you're going to talk shit. That's what you're doing. And anything else you could be doing, this is what you choose. You have yet to provide any logistics. What the fuck does that even mean? Yet to provide any logistics. Oh, yeah, because I'm talking about us facilitating, going and doing something or anything. Yep, gotcha. Other than words. Right, well, again, what do you expect? Are you one of these stupid asses who thinks like protests matter and shit like that? Like, it's always interesting to me that, of not to mention, are you here and motivated to be here, but then you this is the best that you can come up with? Like, are you saying that you have better arguments, you just don't make them? Or really, this is all you're capable of making? Interesting and twisted. Yep, interesting and twisted. These are dumb comments. These are just dumb things to say. Like, it's interesting and twisted to read about the way things work and then discuss them. And every time you get put into that position to where you kind of have to answer for what you're saying, then you go, oh, well, I'm not arguing. I'm not going to do that. You back out. But you'd have to ask yourself, like, again, of all the things that are available to you, I go live and you're like, oh, here, oh, cool, you're live. I'm going to watch you for hours. But I because you're wrong. You're not telling the truth. Like, how would that even work? I didn't get that. I just saw all of my mom's. Hey, are you from America? Yeah. Like, I sound like it, don't. It's just such a weird thing. And it's just strange to me how difficult it is for people to, you're clearly motivated and bothered by something. That's what's motivating you to talk shit. But then to express what it is that has you bothered, you can't do it. Weird. I'm not concerned with I'm not convinced you're capable of ever change. I'm not convinced you're capable of ever changing your mind. I would see these are the kind of cowardly excuses that people use, right? Because you're not capable of changing my mind. I'm not capable because I came out of the womb like this. I came out of the womb thinking all this stuff. I was raised in a society that created all the NPCs around me. But I just came out this way. Like it's just stupid cowardly shit. And that's all you're saying is you're not capable of making any reasonable arguments. So you're blaming me because you're not smart enough. If you made arguments that were undeniable, what could I say? You know, if you were the one making the argument that there's a genocide taking place right now, how would anybody even argue that? That's why nobody does. Because it's not something that can be argued. There is a genocide taking place. Karen, what's up? You indeed are a NPC. It'd be an NPC. Yeah, go ahead. But again, you have to love these. So the guy that is going live, not hiding behind the fake profile, the guy that's going live and talking about all of these controversial things that basically go against the grain with everything, I'm the NPC. Like, this is the stupidity that comes my way. And eventually I just tired of, addressing the same stupidity over and over again, so I stop. But just think about that as an argument. The NPC is the one that doesn't believe in Jesus. The NPC is the one that doesn't believe in religion. The NPC is the one that doesn't, that calls out the Constitution and the government and the slavery. Yep, that's what NPCs do. Who cares? You've argued. No, you haven't. You don't argue anything. You just say things. You just say comments like the world is not flat. And then you don't make any real arguments. And then you cry and say, well, you just won't agree with me. You're the bigot that hates gay people. And you can't even express why. Like, it'd be one thing if you said it's gross, so I don't like it for myself. Well, yeah, that's fine. But to say that these people shouldn't have the same rights as you do and the same opportunities, and all, you can't express anything as to why. You just say, I don't agree with you that the earth is like, you haven't argued a single point because you don't know anything. You don't know anything about why you believe what you believe. You just, I saw some pictures on the internet or on TV, so I believe it. The same society that lies to me about everything else is telling me the truth about this one particular thing. Or like dissent. And all of these people around the world that are questioning it, and I know you could say, oh, well, what about blah, blah, blah. Well, it's one thing when people are questioning the official narrative. Tons of people say the same shit about Jesus, but you're allowed to. You're supposed to say the same things about Jesus. You're not supposed to question the earth shape. And at the end of the day, I don't really care about the earth shape. Right? I hope you don't vote. Right. Because again, my vote's going to be the one that swings things, because this dumbass believes in voting. Even after his buddy Trump lost in 2016 by 2.7 million votes, 2,700,000 million more people voted for Hillary. He still believes voting matters. And again, notice how the dumbass just keeps jumping to different things because they can't actually embrace. I need to learn to listen because there are people speaking right now, right? And I don't literally read you guys the official narrative all the time. The idea of who's telling the truth. You are a lib. Yeah. I'm somebody who believes in liberties, that people should have liberties. Oh, that's a terrible thing. Are you balding? Yeah, I'm 46 years old. I would assume I am. Ooh, ow. See, look at how desperate this nonsense is. Instead of addressing the point, you want to keep going in all these different directions. The main point being that there's a J control scheme that gives you your Jesus and gives you your Allah, and none of that shit's true. You guys can't address any of those things. You can't argue this. So what are you doing? You're bringing up shit you think you can argue, or trying to like hurt me or something. Like, it's just stupid. 46 and on live is crazy. Yep. Because there's an age limit. And there's not people all sorts of ages going live. Like, seriously. Not you watching me for hours on end, day after day after day, while desperately trying to get my attention for stupid shit because you're not smart enough to actually engage the conversation. That's not crazy. That's the normal thing. We have some dumbass that's so mad because I don't believe in Jesus, and they don't know why they do, but it makes them mad, so they're gonna just talk shit. That's all you can do. Now you want to take a shower with me. Doesn't matter what we say, it always comes back to the J's. Yep, see? More crybaby. More crybaby. And then I said something, and he made an argument that I couldn't argue. Same old crybaby shit. And it's from a stupid bigot. What do you expect? I've seen these streams with thousands of viewers. Yeah, nothing beyond playground folks. Exactly. It's it's what the Jays do. It really leans towards the Team Jorge aspect of things. All of these stupid people, well, stupid profiles that aren't capable of making reasonable arguments. It just comes down to ability. You're a proud bigot, and you can't even spell it, you dumbass. It's not B-I-G-G-I-T. This guy he said I'm a proud bigot. B-I-G-G-I-T.
Big idiot.
I mean, it's just amazing. You're a proud bigot, but you can't actually make any reasonable arguments. Or you can, you just won't change my mind, so you're not going to. You know? It's your own insecurities and weird shit that prevent you from being able to do it. A lib. Oh, ow. We've already discussed how much that hurts. I am a lib. I am somebody who wants people to have liberties because that's what a liberal is. Liberties here in the United States, those are bad things, right? Gotta hate those that want liberty in the United States. You know, where we have the statue of... Oh, yeah. We probably shouldn't talk about that then, huh? Statue of Liberty. Yeah. People
are gonna go.
I mean, it's just insane. It's insane for the stupidity that comes through. You have the Trump supporters that you know, they have to, oh, you must have voted for Biden. Because, see, I'm dumb enough to fall for the two-party system. So that means you must be dumb enough to fall for the two-party system, right? Like, it's amazing how stupid you are. And how desperate you are to prove it. Almost as if English isn't their first language. Bigot, B-I-G-G-I-D. Right. It's just stupid. And that's the hardest part, is like, how do we overcome the chosen stupidity that's been put on everyone? You know, they don't want to be this stupid. They are this stupid. They can't help it. You know, and when you challenge them to try to, change it or manipulate, they just their defenses go up because that's how they've been programmed. I can't answer for what y'all saying. Did you steal the thing? No, you're a stupid dum doo-doo head. Did you steal it? No, I don't like your shirt. Your shirt's stupid. Okay. Did you steal the thing? Yeah, but I did it because it's like it's just such weird childish bullshit. Wally and other bots, exactly. This is Team Jorge to the extreme. At the end of the day, how come not a single one of them goes, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm going to show him. I'm going to make the best arguments I can. I'm going to make this guy look like an idiot. I've told you guys time and time again, every single thing you say motivates me, encourages me. The only way you could ever affect me in a negative way is if you somehow made me look stupid. And I sat here like, oh, well, I can't. If I end up saying stupid shit like you,
I got you.
I would be embarrassed. I talk about it all the time. If I was, if I was beaten down to the point where I said the same stupid kind of shit you guys did, I would be embarrassed. I always find it hilarious and embarrassing that no Christian can seemingly make any reasonable arguments. Well, then what's the fucking point? If Christianity means you're so dumb you can't even defend it, then why would anybody ever do it?
To enroll that I turned in while we were there. Oh, that's odd. You will lose.
Dumbass said B-I-G-G-I-T. Bigot. That's how it sounds like. B-I-G-G-I-T. Big git. Big git. Bigot. It's just fucking crazy, man.
In 2 days, yeah.
It's crazy.
No, because
Why are we so stupid?
I can't sign it by email.
You have to ask that question. All the information I know is readily available to you. I don't look into the deep dark corners and try to find the hard shit to find, and I don't do that.
Oh, we can do that on my computer. Here, if you email that to me and then set up the hotspot, we could do that on.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Okay, will you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then so stupid that you're gonna double down on it. Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep spelling it wrong. That's gonna prove you wrong, duh. So stupid. It's phenomenal, man. And it's embarrassing. Why? I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm wrong about these things, then how come nobody can make a better argument? Right? Like, if being right means you're on the side that's so stupid you can't argue anything, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be right if that's the case. What do you need?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so this is going to be 30 cents every 2 days. Okay, you're using our power.
Okay.
Make sure it's some attachments to it.
I love the person that's been here for all of the 35 minutes or whatever and has been here many times, but I'm boring. I'm so boring that you keep watching me and watching me and watching me. And the thing is, it would be a lot more exciting if you guys would actually make reasonable arguments. But this really does show you how stupid the average person is. They claim to believe in something and they can't express it. They can't defend it. Be like somebody saying, I work at Subway, and you were like, oh, really? How do you make the fucking meatball sub? And they were like, I don't know. Why do we think I know how to make a meatball sub just because I work at Subway? Dude, that's the number one selling sandwich. You don't know how to make that shit? Dude, your hair is stupid. Yeah, but how do you make the meatball sandwich? I don't like your feed. You talk too much. Why you talk to me? Look at this shit. I mean, can you imagine being so obsessed with me that you're just that desperate for my attention And now you're like a kid who's like, having a temper tantrum because they're frustrated and they can't get their point across, so they're just like, it's so weird. Such a weird fucking bunch of shit.
Okay. What is your?
I don't know. And the best part is, like, you're too stupid to realize that you're here because I allow you to be. I allow you to be here because you serve a fantastic purpose. If I didn't want you here, if you were so negatively affecting me and calling me names and it hurts my feelings, if that was the case, then I just wouldn't have you here. I'd just block you. Instead, I leave you here so you can provide such a perfect example of the stupidity I'm talking about. Jays make the world not want to be lived in. No. Oh, I absolutely, like, I hate when people talk about shit like that. Like, life is amazing. Life is beautiful. The world is an amazing, beautiful, wonderful place. It's just the Jays that control things that fuck things up for everybody, that have people so mentally fucked up. So that, you remove that cancer. If the body has cancer, you remove the cancer so the body can continue to grow and be better. And imagine if we could just remove that fucking cancer. Imagine how much better the world would be without them destroying it. I know it's not all of them. No, it's most of them. And the reality is, the ones that like, you can't be a good person and be a J. It just doesn't work that way. You can't believe that you're born God's chosen people and the rest of us are just the other. We're just goyim. We're no different than the dogs and the cats and the beds and the chairs and the fruit and the crackers and whatever else that's not them. If you believe that in your, and at your foundation, that you're born special, you're an asshole. New yet non-imaginative. EUs. Right. Think about how stupid it is.
Yeah, that one's the letter. They said it.
Think about how desperate you would have to be to take that route. Right? To where you're on a feed, the person is directly asking you to tell them what they're wrong about, and all you can do is comment stupid shit or cry baby. Ooh, I would tell you, but you're not gonna believe it. I don't think you're capable of changing your mind. Imagine how stupid you have to be and know it. You know that you're stupid. You know you can't actually embrace or engage or, intelligently discuss the thing that you believe in to the point where you're just, you just shut down and start acting like a child. Not even worth acknowledging. It is. It's worth pointing out the fact that that's the best they can do. Understand, if they could say something better, they absolutely would. If they all knew some little thing that they could say that would make me be like, oh man, you got me. Fuck. You know what, guys? They got me. I've lost all my energy. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go cry and sit in my room and cry. I'm not gonna go live anymore. I'll see you tomorrow. But they really roasted me so bad. I don't know. If they could say that to me, they would. They absolutely would. What have you achieved? You've achieved proving how stupid you are. At the very least, you've proven to anybody that watches this that my opposition has to be stupid. They have no morals, so I guess that is their forte.
Hi, Jim.
I mean, I guess, yeah, to some degree. I don't know. It's not about any of that shit. These are just J clowns, man. Most of these are just bots. And at the end of the day, if you're really going to be adamant that you're not a bot, you really are a person that is this stupid and desperate, that says that's worse to me. Oh no, you absolutely are. You're a bigot. You're a bigot piece of shit. So you're absolutely my opposition. I don't care if you agree with me on a couple of things. If you're a bigot, you are the problem.
I get it.
I'm not that desperate for people to like me that I have to overlook negative shit about you so that I can be like, yeah, we're buddies. Yeah, you know, he rapes children every once in a while, but he gives a lot of money to children's organizations. He's a really good cook. Yeah. Like, no, it's a complete package kind of deal. Either you are or you aren't. And when you're not, you're out. I don't give a fuck about you.
Right. I know.
I wish it was different. I wish. I always compare this to like I feel like a undefeated heavyweight championship boxer. I feel like a Mike Tyson in his prime, right? Where the fight is won before it's even had because the person is so intimidated that they've lost before they even step in the ring. You know, I know what that feels like. And it sucks because you lose the motivation. You wonder how a Mike Tyson could lose to a Buster Douglas. Well, it's because he was unmotivated. Mike had been just crushing everybody. Within seconds, he had everybody beat before the first bell even rang. So he just, he was like, fuck it, I don't need to train. Fuck it, I don't need to be on my best. I'm going to knock this guy out anyway. He believed his own hype. I know. And that's what kind of sucks about this is that it's sort of this like, I am obviously going to crush any average person, but let it be somebody intelligent who can actually make an intelligent argument and who knows what they could do. Who knows how I'm going to respond to it because, I never get to train that. I'm only training against the fucking dumbest of the dumb. I wish there were people on here that could actually make reasonable points that would actually make me like stumble and stand. Oh shit! I didn't think about that up, or I had to somehow prove myself in any way. I wish it was that way. My reflexes and my ability to fight back is diminished going against this trash every day. It's just too easy. You can't lose ever. Yeah, okay. Like, what's that even supposed to mean? Am I supposed to sit here and argue stuff that I don't think is correct just so I can lose?
You're in New Jersey, not
or am I supposed to, like, you don't actually make an argument, but because you said something, I'm supposed to be like, oh, well, I guess, there's no reason for me to change my mind, but I'm going to just so you like it more. Just so you feel better about being a moron. It's so weird. Have you seen Jonathan Gleck work on U.S. currency having false flag attacks? Have you seen Jonathan Gleck work on U.S. currency? You mean the folded dollar bill thing? Yeah, I don't care. That stuff's stupid to me. How could they have done it? If they could, if it's a coincidence. I mean, I don't even know. Stuff like that is just shit to have you go in a direction that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, let's say you figure it out that, yep, there are secret images depicted on the fucking U.S. dollar bills and money and shit. What does that do? Okay, now what? Now we have to reset the argument and say, okay, so who put those there? What?
Well, that's what we're trying to do. So.
What's up? Hey!
I know it.
That's all they have is gaslighting, dude. That's all you guys have. You're doing the same shit.
So
You just do it in your like slick way, so you think that you're not being seen for what you're doing and who you really are, but you're being seen, huh?
Probable deniability.
yeah,
What?
They all use probable.
This is how it happens.
How?
Yeah,
Because
for
they'll be
sure.
like, oh no, we're doing this because this is what we believe in, but they're actually just like pieces of shit.
No, yeah. They say it's what they believe in, but they don't know it.
That's how the world works.
They don't know their Bible. They don't know why they believe what they believe, or you know what the shit even
We're
says.
getting older, so we're losing
They just say
our-
shit like, well, you know, again, well, you won't change your mind, so I don't have to make any reasonable arguments.
Which is stupid.
Right.
You know.
I didn't come out this way. It took me many years of changing my mind to get here. I used to be adamantly against the flat earth. Of course the earth is round. The people who said it was flat were the same people that said that Jesus existed. They wrote the Bible. The Bible was written by people who said the earth was flat. Like I would say those things all the
Listen, I
time.
don't want to cut you short. I'm in the middle of trying to get my son enrolled in high school.
But it's just stupid. These pictures blatantly on the bills. Never mind seeing courtesy
Thank you, Jimmy.
of origami. Yeah, whatever. You guys want to talk about crazy videos and shit?
No.
Go look up any of the videos coming out of Palestine right now. Go look up any of these videos that show children being removed from beneath rubble.
All right, honey.
That show the Israelis using American-made planes to drop American-made bombs on people in a tent.
Love you. Talk to you soon.
Think about how insane that is. Go look up all the videos explaining to you exactly what the fuck is going on with shit like BlackRock
I need to sign.
and how the Jays, you know,
You know, you have to print the name.
do everything. How the Jays control all of it.
Well,
Like there's so many videos out there actually talking about this. Then you have like the controlled opposition like Candace Owens,
hold on, let me see.
who is saying all these remarkable things, but she comes from that Christian perspective.
Oh, no, that's
So
right.
she's pushing the idea that the Christians are right and like she's still pushing this religious war bullshit.
That's why I'm supposed to be writing.
Do you know why it's called BlackRock? I know why people think it's called BlackRock,
With the, using the mouse.
but we don't actually know the reason. We don't know their true reason. You know, is it the big mountain in the center of the North Pole? Is that what it is? Is it, you know, who knows?
Because I'm fucking old and decrepit.
No,
Yeah,
because
no
if you have
shit.
it out, and it's just like you're just drawing over the paper.
Yeah.
And if you want to make
All of it is just distraction.
Okay, so.
and once you
Because at the end of the day, you'll find a bazillion videos talking about BlackRock
Okay.
because it's something they want us talking about. They don't hide that shit. They put out the shit.
Did I not click it right? Is there a
And all those videos, what they do is they brag for BlackRock. They make BlackRock seem more powerful than it is. Well, they maybe not more powerful than it, but they make BlackRock real to you.
Why isn't that? There we go.
But you're not supposed to talk about the J aspect of things.
do you want me to make it thinner?
That's the
Yeah.
thing that, you know, we can make videos talking about the earth shape. We can make videos talking about Jesus. We can make videos talking about those crazy Muslims, and
Thing on the
you know, we can make videos about the pedo problem. You could be a pedo hunter. You could be all these things. The only thing that's going to get your channel fucking messed with is if you start talking about the Jays.
Click it twice, so you could use
That's it.
No, it's for that thing, you know.
So you have to ask yourself, why is that one thing
This one.
the thing we're not supposed to talk about? And why would you want to talk about anything else? If everything else is allowed to be talked about,
and
then why would you want to talk
it's
about
on erase right now.
those things? They let us talk about. They encourage us. It's like the people that talk about, you know, I'm against Zionism or Free Palestine. Free Palestine is one of those things that you're allowed to say.
So if you double click it,
Those are the phrases and the ideas that we're allowed to focus on. We're allowed to say to a degree that we oppose Zionism. But as soon as you start saying, I hate the cult, the J cult itself, then
my
things
God.
become a problem.
Do I just double click again and go start again?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
You should worry about what you do and not tell me what I should do. I think what I'm doing is just fine. Clearly, what I'm doing bothers people. Clearly, what I'm doing triggers the system to send reinforcements. And I honestly do think it is some of the best that they have. There is no argument against what I'm saying. That's why I don't get one. There's literally, how does anybody justify or even begin to entertain Matitza Bepa? How many people think it's okay that oil, at the Brits, after performing the Brit Milah circumcision,
Close it up.
then performs the Matitza Bepa by sucking on the bloody baby penis? Who thinks that's okay in any way whatsoever? And yet to the Jays, it's the most important mitzvah. It's the most important aspect of their cult. There is no arguing against that or for that. There is no arguing against what I'm saying. There is no arguing to make what Israel is doing and the genocide that they're causing or committing. There is no way to make that sound okay. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Oh, yeah, okay. There's no argument that can be made. And if I do videos, well, then I can't have interaction from the people. I want the interaction. I want the people to tell me what I'm wrong about. When that's the stated purpose is that you tell me what I'm wrong about, and you can't. You're essentially telling me I'm right about everything I'm saying. You know, if I make a point and you try to change the subject, it's because you're intimidated. It's because you're scared. It's because you can't argue against what I'm saying. Stream is cracking up so bad. Why do you think they're fucking with my stream so much? Earlier, the stream got about a half hour, 40 minutes in, the comments got cut off. I couldn't see them. My video had 4,500 views by the time I was done. I get views that big pages, lots of followers and shit. They don't get the same view count I get. Why would I waste time making, extra videos when this is working? This is clearly working and clearly scares the shit out of the system. Think about the effort and the energy that's put into me. Fucking with my feed, sending out the bot profiles. Think about how much effort and energy that takes. And as always, none of it actually makes reasonable arguments. Why can't anyone come in here and argue for Christianity? If that truly is the light and the way and the truth and all that shit, how come nobody can make any arguments whatsoever? It just seems like if it's the truth, you shouldn't have such a hard time with it. How come people don't do to me what I do to the rest of the shit, to all of your beliefs and your ideas and shit? Why don't you just do it back? Why don't you just engage me in anything I'm talking about? The thing with videos is you don't waste 90% of your time arguing with everyone. So what? The argument is the example. I can't provide a better argument or example of it just reading. When people see it for themselves, like if you tell people, if I tell this youngster here, did you know that every time I go live, I'm inundated with crazy fake profiles that they text my phone, they text my wife, they send us shit in the mail, they do. Do you ever hear about this happening to other people? You ever heard about it happening to other people?
Maybe once or twice, but not like that.
Not like that. Well, that's about as good a validation as you can get that I must be doing something. Something I must do has an effect on people that, this is a person who's fucking computer savvy. Like, they go to school for computers and shit. They're the type, they could type on, like, this is a computer person who's a youngster, who's involved in social media and all that. Never seen shit like this before. Because I'm wrong? That's how that works? That must be it. I must be wrong and crazy. All you guys do, every single comment that comes through doesn't address me directly by telling me, dude, you're wrong about this or that. You're wrong about this and this is why. Is telling me I'm right. Well, you're right about what you're saying, but your hair is stupid. But your house is stupid. Your fucking, I don't know, whatever bullshit you can come up with. This is the validation that you guys, this is the evidence that you guys are always calling for. You're not going to have this, Donald Trump's not going to come out and be like, oh, that guy, Williams guy is right about things, and we don't like him, we're scared of him. They're not going to come out and say that shit. They're going to come out and do what they're doing right now. And the more they do it, the more it proves that I'm right. There is no God. There is no Jesus. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit created by the same people to keep them in the position and keep you stupid. At the end of the day, you Christians believe that the bad guys in your Bible, not Satan, because Satan's not in the Bible. That's not a big character in the Bible like you probably think. That the bad guys in the Bible, the ones that kill your Christian God's only son, who is also your superhero, that those are Christian God's chosen people. If you can't understand how ridiculous that is, like we got to get you there. How do you not see it? What are you overlooking to make yourself see what you want to see? Let's see. That's the most talking without saying anything I've ever heard. Did her. That's the most talking without saying anything I've ever heard. Yep. That's what it is. And you were so motivated and inspired by what I said that you just had to come in and say something stupid. Instead of addressing what's being said, instead of, we need to get rid of this J control scheme. Yeah, those pedos are disgusting. Yeah, we need to change things and make life better for none of that. Just more stupid. Don't do drugs, kids. I don't like him. No views. Yep, no views. Yep, except you, who's been watching the whole time. And hopefully you're not like me where you can get to the point where you're censored. Because it's, my video earlier today has 4,500 views. I challenge anybody on here to go live and get 4,500 views. I would love to see any of you do it. And really, I'd love to see any of you do it while making a video about me and how stupid I am. I'd love to see any of you make that Guy Williams Sucks video where you actually show that you're a real person and you make a video that gets 4,500 views within a couple of hours while you're doing it. Make me look stupid. Prove it.
I'm going to make a Williams Sucks video, but it's going to be a marketing ploy to spread the name.
Go right ahead. This is the first notification you are live since last I was on. Explain that, people. Right. How does that work? How does the computer system not work? Somebody comes to my page and says, oh, I like this guy's shit. I'm going to click the notification bell. I want to be notified when this person goes live. And for some reason, it doesn't work. How does it happen? Yes, I have 2 viewers. Gotcha. You haven't asked any Vatican questions. What Vatican questions? Last thing you asked was, do you know why they call it Black Rock? And then you said you still haven't answered my Vatican question. So, obviously your shit didn't come through. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, everyone agreeing with him so he doesn't. Yep, I will emotionally abuse my family. Yep. Look at all of these crazy things that come through instead of the simple route of just telling me what I'm wrong about. How does that make sense? Why won't you just tell me what I'm wrong about? Why are you so desperate to come up with your own bullshit that you just can't come up with anything intelligent? Think about how insane this is. Does this make sense to people? Is this how you see things working? Is this how generally, I mean, I know none of you see this. Like if Daisy doesn't see this shit, and you know, and she's really like into computers and all this other shit, like what do you guys watch that you've seen this before and this is so normal to you that you don't even acknowledge it? I just, you know, every single comment that doesn't tell me what I'm wrong about is telling me I'm right. And when you know, I know you hear me saying it, so you know that's how I feel. So why won't you just tell me what I'm wrong about? Team Jorge, aka Team George, your eyes out from their idiocy.
This is what I came in to talk to you about.
I mean, it's like
it's. I challenge you guys again. Tell me how it's not Team Jorge, or at least a reasonable facsimile thereof. One of Israel's black ops organizations that uses cyber hacking, cyber espionage, hacking, all this other shit, troll farms, to, you know, attack critics. I got it saying that you 8 people watching, by the way.
I just sent you
yeah. Earlier today, the feed had like 60 some 70 viewers when the comments got cut off. Once the comments get cut off, then people think I'm ignoring them. You know, people think it's something else, so they're less likely to pay attention. And so the numbers drop.
Do you need me to send them the...
When you look at the numbers I achieve, to think that we have these feeds with 8 viewers, it's just stupid. It's just more evidence that I'm right. I just, that's fascinating. It's fascinating. Ask any one of these trolls, why are they here? What's your motivation? Why are you here on the feed with the guy who thinks we should kill pedos, eliminate the J control scheme, and stop the genocide? And you're here to interfere with that. What's the motivation behind that? Who's going to do that? Please, by all means, somebody express. Just say why you're here in the first place. What inspires you to not be doing anything else with your life? And instead you're here talking shit because you apparently hate me so much you'll watch me for hours. Day after day after day. Please tell us what motivates you to be here. Because it's entertaining, right? Other than I'm the most entertaining thing. Like, again, you think it somehow hurts my feelings that you have access to the entire internet, anything you want to do in real life, anything like that, and you choose to spend hours trying to get my attention by saying stupid shit. If you think that is somehow like a negative, I mean, again, we're not on the same page, I guess. But we're going to keep seeing it. I didn't even get notified earlier, but it's live. Yeah.
We can just send them all in one email. You know what I mean? So you don't have to send this separate right now.
Look at how stupid it is. Look at this. Ask them direct questions. Ask the trolls the direct question. Why are you here? What is your motivation? They can't even answer that shit. Because it's entertaining. That'll be the closest thing they say. Again, thinking it's supposed to be some sort of burn. Like, it's fascinating. And it tells you what, it tells you the truth. If you can't express a good reason why you're here and you can't, you can't explain things even a little bit, you're explaining plenty. You're either fake or you're just some obsessed weirdo. But I'm going to go with the bot thing because I don't think I'm important enough to have people obsess over me. Sorry, my ego just isn't that big. Just like my tiny penis. Yes, I didn't see that. It got retracted.
And then I think.
What do you want to do first, or should you just?
Anyway, this video was specifically sent to this dude who was telling me that my existence proves God's real. And I was talking about I meant to talk about Tom MacDonald. So I've been talking about this for a while, and I sort of assumed it, but today I got the confirmation. Why?
Let's do this one.
Just here doing my J duties. There you go. If that's supposed to be some sort of joke or whatever, okay. Well, that's the best answer you could come up with. That proves the point yet again. At least they're answering one thing, honestly. But Tom MacDonald, why is Tom MacDonald allowed to have such a prominent, why is he allowed to make so much money? Why is he allowed to tell so many secrets? I saw this video of him with his wife, and there's a man on TV who reading me the clues, and it's not really true, but it's true. They call it news, and there's a man in a doctor's coat who's selling me drugs that kill me, and like he's talking about Fauci, he's talking about Anderson Cooper. He's Tom MacDonald, man. Tom MacDonald is the conspiracy rap guy. The white guy with tattoos all over his face and shit. So if your kids emulate him, they won't get a job. Why is Tom MacDonald allowed to have such not get censored? Why isn't Tom MacDonald having his shit shut down? Because Tom MacDonald is a Jesus freak.
Oh, and it says not sure.
Jesus pusher. Yeah, what's the deal with the daily check-ins by supposed haters that think you don't say anything of value? They are proving the point. That's what they're supposed to do.
My godfather's name. Very creepy.
But you think about it like again, why is Tom MacDonald? Same thing with Anomaly. I said this from the beginning. Why is Anomaly a Fox correspondent that's allowed to, years ago, had 2 million following on Facebook? Probably has a lot more by now. Why isn't he censored? Because at the end of the day, these guys are pushing Jesus. They're still pushing the same bullshit, just in a different form. Tom MacDonald questions everything about everything, just not Jesus in the Bible. And anytime you say, okay, come on, one of you that believes this shit, by all means, tell me why do you believe in the Bible? Ask a Christian why they believe in the Bible. Ask a Christian why they believe in their shit, and they have nothing to say.
Will probably be adult sizes.
They're not gonna, oh, well, I feel it deep in my jellies and shit. Yeah, sure you do.
It's just a t-shirt.
Well, can't stop me. Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records, because we get down, baby. We get down. Anyway, I wasn't planning on being live this long. I was really hoping that the people would come in, and this Rudolph Jaeger guy he got my message at least 44 minutes. He was active 44 minutes ago, and he saw, not only did I respond to his message, inviting him to go live, telling him I was going live, and then shared it on my Facebook page. I actually sent the link to his fucking, to his messenger. Did he show up? No.
Nope. That's perfect. Okay. Just so I know.
And free too.
Yeah.
I told him he wouldn't. I told him, there's no way you're going to show up. You don't have anything to say. You can't make reasonable arguments. Your argument for why, because it was in response to Islam and Christianity. I said Islam and Christianity are just more J tricks, more chosen nonsense. They're all three Abrahamic religions because it's there to distract you and keep you stupid.
I can definitely help those out.
And it's not real. None of it's real. And his response was, your existence proves otherwise. Somehow me existing proves God is real.
Yeah, so we know what it's asking. Is child's last, first, middle. Okay, Williams.
Interesting how somebody comes through and says something stupid, like, are we talking about baby foreskins again? When we don't talk about that. We talk about the sick people who suck on them. But you don't want to express that, right? You want to make it into something weird and gross. Because I'm the one that's wrong. Oh no.
Joseph, J-O-S-E-F.
Like stupid, man. Just stupid. You know, it's just stupid. Jays don't argue. That's for the poor people, says the person who claims to be a Jay and begs for my attention all day. I guess begging for attention by saying stupid shit isn't for you. For you.
Date of birth is 08.
God, it's so stupid. It's just fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense how people can be this stupid and think that they're actually achieving otherwise. They think they're actually saying something intelligent. This is the, if you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel. That's the stupidity. That's like the foundation of Jay stupidity. If you look into what we do, that's going to demonize us. Because you're good people? Because you do the right thing, that's why looking into your history makes you look bad? That makes sense? Does anybody think that way about themselves? Anybody that's not a J? Do any of you think that if people were to look into your history, that would demonize you? No. No. Most people know that if you actually look into what I've done in my life, you're going to see a good person or whatever. The Jays know. If you look into Israel stuff, you're going to find nothing but horror. Nothing but lies. Where's another lighter, Chubby Chub?
In your ass, you know.
I would, maybe. I mean, it's a pretty gaping hole.
Where did the pickle one go?
What do you get when you mix an elephant and a rhino?
I have no idea.
Elefino.
What's your middle name?
Susie. Susie. Guys, wake up, man. It's all around us. It's a poisonous cloud all around us. And until we see it for what it is and address it and do something about it, then, yeah, it's probably in one of my pockets because I'm the cigarette smoker.
I knew he was one of the three.
And I can't,
I know we won't find a good job, brothers on me. That's a fact. Right. That's why I'm allowed to exist like I am, because I haven't had good jobs in my life. Oh, so stupid. Your arguments contradict each other. But hey, let's just say I never had a decent job in my life. And I did all the drugs. I drank all the alcohol. I beat my wife. I beat my children, I kick my dog, I do all these terrible things. Does that outweigh a genocide? Does that outweigh the slavery of the enslavement of the goyim, of humankind? Does that outweigh all the pedophilia and shit? That's what happens? Right? What I've done in my life, even though, again, I'm pretty open, and if you guys could find something that made me look bad, you'd say it. There's more than enough effort put into me digging through my past and all that shit. You would think there would be somebody that would be able to say something. Can't even find an ex-girlfriend and have her come talk shit, because none of them will. Well, one of them might, but she's crazy, so what can you say? Can't find any sort of negativity, but yep. I'm the bad guy because I think we need to get rid of pedophilia and slavery and genocide. That explains why so many people are so motivated to come here and try to interrupt and disrupt and, make me look bad and all this thing, because I'm so bad for thinking we should end genocide, pedophilia, and slavery. Gosh, what a horrible person. Oh, here, let's see. Your family disowned you. How much worse does that get? Well, obviously, if you wouldn't know about it if I didn't tell you. But why did they?
No, I don't.
It couldn't have to do with me asking questions about Operation Paperclip and my family's involvement. No, that's not it. It's because of something I did. Look at how desperate you are. So you can say these things. So obviously, look, I love when people actually address shit, because then it shows you that they're capable of addressing certain things. But when I talk about the pedophilia, the slavery, the genocide, they say nothing, because they support those things. They don't sit here first of all, they won't express why they're here to begin with. But they don't sit here and renounce those horrible things and talk shit about those horrible things and acknowledge that those are problems that need fixed. And no, they don't do that. But they do say, oh, but your family, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing how that works. It's desperation and it's like most obvious form. And I just appreciate the example of it so much. Why do you think I tell you guys about these things? So then you're dumb enough to bring it up at a later point. You're falling into my manipulation. Oh, they don't like me. That's what it is. Yeah. Look at the desperation. So again, you're not going to acknowledge the pedophilia, though. Now you want to talk about, because again, this has to do with the big picture. How? Whether or not my in-laws like me or don't like me, any of that, what does that matter? Obviously, it doesn't bother me. So what does it matter that what you're saying? Like, how does that take away from the bigger picture? The genocide, the slavery, the pedophilia. Why are you here? Why are you here to try to stop the conversation if I'm the bad guy? Just keep saying stupid things and proving my point. I'd love to hear how what else you can come up with that's going to prove the point. With the fake profile. The fake profile with 0 subscribers and 0 posts and all that. That makes total sense. And as you pointed out, they never tell you how abhorrent your pedo labels are. Right. They never seem to be bothered by the fact that I flat out called them pedophiles. They are. Obviously. If you're not going to, admonish the pedophilia, then you are a pedophile. If you're not going to acknowledge or admonish the genocide, slavery, well, then you're probably benefiting from it. These people aren't going to come in here and be like, yeah, I'm a proud pedo, but they're not going to say that shit. You have to read between the lines. That's why I leave them here and let them talk. Instead of just getting rid of them, because they're going to expose themselves. They always do. I always compare it to like if you were out with me somewhere and we were walking, as much as I love my wife, if some hot titties go walking by, I'm going to be like, God damn, what are them titties? I'll even point them out to you. You'll see me actively looking around and seeing titties and shit. Like, oh shit, that's amazing. And same thing, if you were to hang out with these people, that's why they're so isolated. Because they know if they're hanging out with you or they're going to out themselves. You're going to catch them looking at a kid as the kid walks by. You're going to catch them making stupid, weird, pedo jokes and shit that you're like, dude, that's not even funny. Who jokes about that kind of shit? They do. They skip right by these points all the time. Yeah, it's weird. But they're obsessed with me. And my family disowned me. Same thing with my family. It's the same sort of concept. If my family would have just acknowledged the Operation Paperclip shit and been like, oh yeah, we've heard of that. No, that's crazy. We know what you're going with. And it's just, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're not a part of it. Then there's that. Then it's, at least there's that acknowledgement. Let's see. I challenge people to out the cult openly and watch how your life changes. If that doesn't change your perception, IDK, what will? Yeah. I mean, feed operates differently. Like, ever since he started watching my feed and openly agreeing with the things that I'm saying, he's been interfered with. He's been on all sorts of different feeds and all, internet's been around for a while. Never experienced anything like this. Yep. Some dumbass gonna come on here because gonna keep watching this boring person not acknowledging or admonishing the pedophilia, the slavery, the genocide. It's just me being too boring. They still block half my comments, even in code. Yeah, well, excuse me. Must be because you're wrong, right? That's what people do. I find it fascinating. And I think it's all extremely telling. Like I say, they're not going to come in and tell me I'm right. Nobody's going to come in here and be like, yeah, you're right. We're going to try to stop you and we're stupid so we can't actually argue anything. And they're not going to say those things. It requires you looking at it for what it is. Yep, I'm wrong. Just like everyone else saying the same thing. It's the most censored subject that exists for a reason. There you go. People that want to pretend like it's the Jesuits that control things. It's the Swiss. Make all the videos you want. See what happens. You'll find people that actually address what you're saying, but there won't be any sort of censorship or interference. And not saying something says more than most people realize. If you're not admonishing the pedophilia, the genocide, the slavery, That says a lot about you. Whether you acknowledge things or you don't, what you choose to acknowledge says a lot about you. It's all pretty easy. It's all right in front of us. It's just, that the system has trained you to believe that you're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You can't see it. Even if you do see it, what do you know? You got to get approval from the group and blah, blah. It's all the same bullshit. And it's about keeping you down, keeping you stupid, keeping you depressed. People walk around thinking they're depressed. You're not depressed, you're angry. You're angry and there's no outlet for it. There's no acceptable way for you to express your anger and be like, this is fucked up. I'm not a part of this. Blah, blah. There's nowhere where that exists. You're supposed to pretend like the devil and blah. You're just supposed to pretend the dumbest shit. At the end of the day, there are so many people out there that watch this feed that might not agree with me on this, that, or the other, but should agree that we need to kill the pedos, eliminate the genocide and the J slavery. And for some reason, they don't. Seems pretty obvious to me. Anyway, didn't plan on being here this long, so as always, go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg.group.com. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. It's free. Just download it for free. It'll tell you it's an unsecured website, but it's not. It's free. We appreciate all the donations that have come in. We encourage you to donate more, but more than anything, fucking save the money and just share it with somebody. That's all we ask, is that you share it with someone. Go watch Hollywoodism. Hollywoodism is the most telling thing you can see. Most telling video that's available for you on YouTube that will answer your questions and explain this whole bullshit. And it's from their perspective. It's not a movie I made or something like. I get no benefit from you watching Hollywoodism. I'm telling you to go make this Jay's channel bigger by watching their video. That's how confident I am in this. And then you're gonna see
These are just.
There's gonna be 2 videos, 2 links to Facebook videos, our songs, COVID Sauce, and our song Donald Trump Hates America. Go check those out. Go share them. All I ever ask is that you share. Tell me what I'm wrong about and share my shit. That's all I can ask of me. What?
Oh, it's his specific.
I'm coming outside.
Well, that's the.
Yes.
This is the waiver form.
You
And this is
understand that it's our time. It's Team Goyim. That's why they're so scared. If they weren't so scared of us, they wouldn't be making it illegal. They wouldn't be destroying the First Amendment. Free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom to redress your grievances, freedom to protest. They wouldn't be destroying the First Amendment to stop us from talking about it if it wasn't fucking real and scary for them. If it wasn't real, they would address it and say, oh yeah, this is what people think, and then this is what it's wrong. So here, let's show you how it's wrong.
I didn't think of that.
Just wake up. Wake up, go look, go check out the links. If you disagree with me, if anything I'm saying isn't true, if it's not the best music you've never heard, if the videos aren't cool, if Hollywoodism doesn't answer all your questions, come back and tell me all about it. Have yourself a great day, and most importantly, as always, the most important thing I can say is pedophiles, kill yourself.
I don't think you need this.
Right.